Season 9. Playing the Rangers in our first game, and the Orioles just beat the Rangers in real life today, so is that a good omen? I don't know, but hopefully so. Got our team photo, of course, of many Tonys for the season. And I thought I already came on and turned off some of this stuff, but we'll just do some music and sounds, but turn off all the extra things that take a long time to skip through, so I can actually talk through the game and everything. But here is our starting lineup, except at the last minute in practicing decided to swap Jane and Jessica, so basic idea to have my best batter batting second, to have a chance to drive in some of these other folks like Kathy and Cindy if I can get her on base, and then otherwise just kind of a balance between speed and power throughout the lineup as much as possible to score as many runs as possible. We're at our home field playground in this one. Defense will be the same as for the AI. Might switch things around as we go, but Nancy on the mound, Jessica, the Raul Mondesi clone behind the plate, big old Mark McGwire at first base, Wing Kwan at second base, Barbara Jones, Cal Ripken basically at shortstop, Kathy Wolf at third, Cindy in left, Jane Davis in center field, and Uma Morris in right field. So a lot of different generics on this team, a couple of pro clones, and one real pro, and no backyard kids for me. On this Rangers squad, we've got Kenny Lofton clone at shortstop, can be very scary there. Grace Tipton with a lot of speed and not much else other than pitching on the mound. Okay, and Maya's got a pretty good arm behind the plate. Ruth Prout at third base, I had her there last year as well. Gail Weinman is a Stephanie Morgan clone at second base. Alicia Blakely, who's Mo Vaughn at first base. Tatiana Jackson, who's got speed and contact and not much else, out in right field. Dangerous Marcellus Marks out in center field, and another Stephanie Morgan clone, Dominique Lowe, out in left field. And with no good or bad days, not much else to talk about there, so we can go ahead and get started with Season 9. Our ugly looking Mariners logo, and we are the Milwaukee Orioles with a very Green Bay Packers inspired color scheme. So really digging into the Milwaukee theme there. And that's the home team. We'll be pitching first, and I will mostly just be trying to avoid screwing up as much as possible. Been fairly happy with my user defense in some scrimmage games so far, but we do have a lot of speed and a few decent bats on this Ranger squad. As Kenny Lofton clone Dawn goes down on strikes to start things off for us. It's pretty good. She never got too many strikeouts in my practices, but also mostly not going for them because of the giving stamina back to the AI thing, but doesn't matter at this point in the game. Grace is probably going to reach on this bunt. Yeah. So bunted on the first pitch, and she is pretty much a true 10 speed. Had a pretty easy time getting on base there, and it does have somebody on for Marcellus, although I also wouldn't be too surprised by a Grace steal. No, they're just going to bunt again with Marcellus. We're going to take the out at first. Didn't think I could get Grace at second there. So it does leave a runner on second with Maya Woodruff coming up to the plate. Pretty solid hitter as well, so I'll be pitching fairly carefully to her. Obviously not really expecting a steal of third here, but Grace could go nuts, never know. Ground ball from Maya, and Mark is able to scoop it up and make it over to first base for out number 3. So no runs for the Rangers in the top of the first inning there. And we'll have Kathy Wolf up to lead things off for us. Grace misses outside the hook for ball 1. I've been experimenting between line drive and grounder with Kathy. Feel a little better about line drive for the most part, and works pretty well there with a sharp hit single out to left field that Dominique can't quite get to. So we've got Kathy on first. We could test Maya's arm, but I think it's good enough that it's not worth it. And with Jane at the plate, I'd rather just go power and try to drive Kathy in that way. Jane does not quite get power going, but drills it through a hole in this infield defense. And with Kathy's speed, she's going to make it all the way around from first base. A nice RBI double from Jane to kick off our scoring. So it's going pretty well so far, obviously. Yeah, decent hit from Jane there. Wanted a bit more power on it, but with Mark up after Barbara here, still a decent situation. Barbara takes first pitch up in the strike zone for strike 1, and then drills a liner through the middle of their infield, and it gets past Marcellus out in center field as well. So Jane comes all the way around to score, and Barbara is going to stop at third. So triple for Barbara there on just kind of a solid line drive up the middle. Yeah, Jane's pretty fast in 9 speed, but on like the kind of low end of 9 speeds. Mark McGwire gets all of that one. Home run. Great start for the Orioles here, up to 4 runs from our first 4 batters and a bunch of extra base hits. Our team has now hit for the cycle in our first 4 batters, actually. It's kind of cool. I would love for Mark McGwire to go 5 for 5 today and have basically all home runs. That would be awesome. It's been a little up and down in scrimmages, but we are just taking Grace tipped into the cleaners here. She's only had time to throw 7 pitches, but thrown a lot of kind of easy to hit strikes so far. The pitch may have been a little outside, and looks like, yeah, Marcellus actually going to get there out in the outfield. Solid hit from Jessica, but first out of the inning. Wayne's going to try for like a ground ball at the third baseline, preferably. They've got Ruth over there. Solid arm, but I think with wing speed, as long as he puts it away from Dawn, he's pretty safe to reach, and he does in fact reach. Nice single for Wing. And you get a runner on base for the powerful Uma Morris. Powerful and low contact, which is pretty much a theme of this team. Solid pitch from Grace there. Didn't have time to get over to open stance and also get a good swing on it, so take it for a strike. And that one went more inside than I was expecting. So strike 2 on Uma. I'm going to switch to line drive in this situation. Fouls off another pitch. Staying at 0-2. Still not really going to try to steal on Maya. Uma with a hard hit ground ball that Dawn is not. Oh, she does field it just in time. Man, wish I would have been sprinting a little bit with Wing. Could have pretty easily gotten him in there, I think. But Uma does make it to first in time to not get doubled up. Nice recovery from Don Cozart there. And Nancy with a solid hit out to right field. And throw-in's pretty good, so I'm not going to try to go any further there, although with Cindy up next, maybe I should have just risked it anyways. Yes, the Crimson Chin gif is appropriate for Nancy Chin, of course. Oh, Cindy. It's going to be a fun season with Cindy. I've had some luck with her in scrimmages with an open stance and their first baseman just coming in to get the ball and then Cindy beating that first baseman to the bag. So that's mainly my strategy, but you know, with 2 outs and 2 runners on base already, just going to have to kind of go with whatever we can get with Cindy here. And she ends up missing on a pretty good pitch down the middle of the plate, so probably just bit off with my timing there. And Cindy is just not a great batter, but that's okay. She's going to be a solid fielder for me out in left field. Not super important at playground, but kind of an important position overall, in my opinion. So, get a bunch of runners on base. Only 4 runs, but still a pretty good start to our inning and our season. And we've got Nancy still out on the mound facing Alicia Blakely, the Mo Vaughn clone. Real quickly goes down 0-2 in the count on a bunch of right hooks, which is mostly what I'll be throwing with Nancy. Thanks AI Fielders for overrunning that one and not really giving me a chance to get Alicia at first base. Playground has more weird hops than I would have expected some of the time. And players that should be good at reading where the ball is going don't always actually do that. I'm going to try to switch to some slow balls here to save stamina. Taking the out at first with the speedy Ruth, and actually pull off a first to second double play there. Can't use batting power-ups with my team, which you may or may not know about, but you know, fun to get double plays anyways. And Gale for the 3rd out of the inning with a quick grounder to Nancy. And Mark back to Nancy to close things out there. So Rangers with a couple hits, but no damage done so far. And we're back at the top of our order with Kathy. We're in the bottom of the 2nd. It's a 4-0 lead so far. Kathy fouls off the first hook for strike number 1. That ball is a strike, so it's worth swinging at, but tough pitch to hit low in the strike zone like that. And we're going to stay on. Line drive. Ooh, nice pitch down the middle. Could have been a nice one to drive, but fouled it off instead. Fouls off another pitch, pretty much right down the middle. Sitting at 0-2. I'd love to get Kathy and her speed on once again, but she whiffs on a pitch towards the outside part of the strike zone. Didn't switch over to close. Thought it was a little bit closer to the middle. And that's our 2nd strikeout so far. Cindy and Kathy, kind of back to back, but spread between the 2 different innings. Jane with her power swing, but just a hard hit ground ball. Not hard of a hit ground ball, but able to reach first with just basically shifting the defense out of position. They were not ready for where that ball was going. And, you know, we'll take a base runner with Barbara and then Mark coming up. Pitch looked a little low, but it's a strike. So strike number 1 to Barbara. Jane Davis on first. Barbara with a actually hard hit ground ball, just foul, unfortunately. That would have been a pretty nice hit. If it had snuck inside that 3rd baseline, nobody was going to get to it for a little bit. That pitch does catch the strike zone. Bunch of strikeouts kind of coming in succession here. Not even with, well, Cindy's low contact, but Barbara is one of our higher contact batters. But got a runner on base and got Mark McGwire at the plate, and that's really all you need to generate some offense. as Mark goes deep for his second time of the game. Love to see that. Yeah, that one was crushed by Mark out into center field. That was a well-placed, still only went 306 feet. I guess it bounced off the fence here and went that way. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, JY, as soon as JY joined chat, Mark hit a home run. Coincidence? I think not. But yeah, Mark gives us a nice 6-0 lead, and it's looking good so far. Yeah, I liked that outside pitch from Grace that Mark was just able to crush over the center field fence. Mark does tend to hit some moon shots. Grace going out to center field to replace Marcellus, who's coming into pitch. There's a power-up pitch that I don't really have any interest in swinging at, since I can't use power-up hits if I successfully hit it. So yeah, Grace was probably at least a little bit tired out there. She never threw any power-up pitches. Dang it. Bunch of strikeouts for me. I'm not trying to do that, but it's alright. I'm pretty happy with our 6 runs so far, and we'll have a Wing basically acting as a leadoff batter for us next inning. Moving into the top of the third here, got a 6-0 lead so far. Tatiana not too worried about at the plate, so we're going to lob in some slow balls and probably immediately regret it, as she will inevitably crush a home run somehow. Not just a little pop-up that Jessica fields, goes to first. Nancy and Jessica with a little bit of a collision there in between home plate and the pitcher's mound, but after the play was already made successfully. So we've got out number 1 there from Tatiana, bringing up Dominique Lowe, their left fielder. Whiffs at a slow ball towards the inside part of the strike zone. Takes another pitch low and away for strike number 2. And gets it high in the air, right to Wing, who flubs it, of course. Should be an error, but I think that just gets called a single for Dominique there, and that does put a runner on for Don Cozart. And I don't feel too confident about turning a double play with Don at the plate. Also, I, again, cannot use batting power-ups. Mostly trying to remind myself to not get tempted to use a power-up with Cindy, which I'm sure I will be tempted to many times this season, but that is not legal for me to do. So I am not chasing, I have no temptation to chase batting power-ups, and that does give me a little bit of flexibility with I can intentionally walk batters in situations that would otherwise illegally set up a double play, but there's no benefit to me for doing that, so helps me get around those really scary batters like Lance Lambert and Ryan Vanderhoek. Grace with a little pop-up that Jessica will flub because that's what catchers do. Mark what? Oh yeah. I think Grace got a little greedy there and started running off first before Mark actually threw the ball. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but we'll take our third out of the inning. And well, that's just where I want the ball to be thrown, so we're going to swing at it. Come on, Wing. Ah, so close. Wing hit it a little too close to Marcellus, and even with his pretty weak arm, he was able to make the play at first. Keeps throwing these power-up pitches with the good pitches to hit. So I went after it with Uma there. Just fouled it off, though. Take that pitch that is well inside to bring the count to 1-1. Fouls off another pitch, pretty close to the middle of the strike zone. Now with nobody on, I'm going to stick with power here, I think. Foul that one off. It was high and away. think in the strike zone though. Crushed that one behind home plate. Be an interesting season with foul balls and low contact batters, and a lot of them have low I as well. Just didn't really even check those things during the draft, so that's kind of how things ended up. Uma's worked her way up to a full count, and looks like she's going to take a walk here. Our first walk of the season. Got to balance out those strikeouts a little bit. Not particularly ideal to have Uma sitting on base, but she doesn't have the lowest speed on the team either, so could be worse. Great pitch right down the middle from Nancy, but she fouls it back. Trying power swing here, but it's that one kind of into no man's land, but it looks like the right fielder, Tatiana, is going to get over there. Yeah, both their pitchers have been throwing a lot close to the middle of the plate at least. Cindy is up again. I don't think I'm going to be able to get her on base here, but yeah, Marcellus should be pretty tired out, but it's still throwing in a lot of strikes at least. Can't believe Cindy wasn't able to beat that one out. Hit it a little too short right at Maya, despite at least a little bit of sprinting, but I guess I needed a little bit more. We'll be back up to the top of the order with Kathy next inning, which is where we kind of want to be anyways, but frustrating to not be getting quite as many runs as I would like, mostly just from Mark McGwire home runs. I feel like they've got some vulnerabilities in the defense I could be taking advantage of. Thankfully that one was fielded by Jessica on a bunt from Henri, however you want to say it. And we're able to throw him out at first with Jessica's solid arm. Continuing to throw mostly right hooks, which is Nancy's best pitch. Switch to slow balls against some of the weaker batters, but Maya is intimidating enough that I don't feel too bad about going with hooks. And she does make solid contact out towards Uma. Cannot make the play, despite me mostly recognizing that she wasn't going to be able to make the play. Makes a good throw into second base, though, and easily guns out Maya, trying to stretch a single into a double. So a nice second out there, and we'll have Alicia move on Blakely up here. She hits grounder, easily fielded by Jessica. Jessica guns it to first. If we didn't have tall Mark McGwire at first base, that one could have been thrown over the head, looked pretty hard, but Mark has no problem with it. Kathy crushes one, but foul. So a little early at the pitch, I think. So 0-1 for her here. Kathy hits that one well out into left center. Caught by Grace, who seems to have recovered enough stamina to cover that much ground. So a bit unfortunate there for Kathy. Might have to be trying to switch to grounder maybe against this defense, but so I was mostly having better luck with her on line drive, I felt like, during scrimmages. Jane takes pitch that I thought could be a ball and was called a strike, and that one that was inside for ball one. Jane with just a hard hit ground ball towards second. That is going to be an easy single. Once again, setting her up on first base with Barbara at the plate. Once again, not feeling confident in stealing on Maya, though she might be a little tired after her attempted stretching a single into a double last inning. Barbara with the hard hit ball out towards left field. Dominique is not willing to go after in any way, shape, or form. Felt like if he had actually run after it, he could have caught it, but we'll take that to get a second runner on base. And here's Mark McGwire again. Let's see if he can do the thing. Not on that zigzag, but also happened to be below the strike zone. So, yeah, it was pretty nice. So, makes sense for Dominique to just be admiring it. Marcellus is getting tired or just scared of Mark doing the thing. 2 balls to start the at-bat. I don't feel very good about those low in the strike zone ones. Haven't had much luck with them, so take that one for strike 1 in this situation. Ooh, that was a good pitch to hit, but Mark just fouls it back. 2-2 the count now. And I don't think that's out. Is Grace going to catch it? Yes, unfortunate. On the plus side, I might be able to get Jane all the way home here. Oh yeah. So sac fly by Mark McGwire as Jane Davis scores from second base. Yeah, nice sac fly from second. And we do have Jessica up here. So I think I'm going to stay in power swing with this situation. Jessica hits that one right about where Mark did. Looks like it's going to get caught by Grace out in that deep center field. Man, tough on those. They could get pulled towards left more, which is, I think, just a timing thing. Yeah, good pitches to hit, good swings, but a little bit off on the timing, which I had kind of found throughout my scrimmages as well. Maybe that's just a fact of life. Nice catch from Nancy there on a little pop-up from Ruth Prout for the first out in the inning. So we're here in the top of the 5th currently. Gail Wyman at the plate for the Rangers. So slow balls in. Although she hits a nice line drive right at Barbara. Nice catch by Barbara at shortstop. Quick 2 outs here for the Rangers. Tatiana at the plate. Stick with slow balls. Nancy with a nice diving play and has just enough juice to make the throw to Mark and retire Tatiana. So 1-2-3 inning. I think that was our first 1-2-3 inning. And we'll have Wing Quan here leading things off once again. Pitch just a bit outside. Hey, thanks for the cheers there, Ace. That pitch we're going to take with Wing to go to a 1-1 count. Again, trying to get the ball towards Ruth at third base. Instead we hit... Whoa. Man, I've gotten thrown out by a step at first multiple times. So frustrating. Poor Wing, trying his best to get some hits for us, but just barely missing. As Uma steps into the plate now with 1 out and no runners on, and takes the first pitch a bit high for ball 1. It's a nice pitch to hit right down the middle and foul it back, unfortunately. Maybe would have been better in open stance there, not too sure. That one looks high, and it is. Go to a 2-1 count. I think that one was going to get called a strike. Not my favorite to hit anyways, but just managed to foul it back and go to 2-2. That one looked pretty dang good on the outside part of the plate, but fouled it back as well. Should have stayed squared, closed there, I think, but thankfully still managed to make a little bit of contact with it. As Uma has once again worked her way to a full count. She actually walked her last time up. payoff pitch, and that's going to be well inside for ball 4. So Uma draws her second walk of the game. Once again, not really what we want her to be doing. If that kind of continues, might need to look at some lineup reshuffling to have somebody with a bit more power behind her if she's going to be our on-base threat. It wasn't really her expected role, but we've got Nancy up now. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1, hits a weird one towards third base. That is going to get caught by Ruth. Oops, I was clicked off to see what Crazy's spoiler was, and accidentally almost sent Uma towards second base, and what would have been her doom. Alright, our plan here is to try to set up kind of a hit and run here with Cindy. Run, Cindy, run! Cindy is trying so hard to get on base. So close. Alright, that's going to end us with 7. Man, it looked like we had potential for a lot more, but yeah, a lot of close ones. Maya with good arm behind the plate. Definitely going to see a lot of that this season. So it's tough, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Is Wing going to go out and catch that? Yes, he is. Nice play by Wing there. Nancy's been doing her job on the mound. Not a lot of strikeouts, but I don't care too much about that. It's on with a powerful foul ball bunt somewhere behind home plate. Just been both of Nancy's strikeouts so far today, interestingly. It's that one pretty hard, but right at Wing. It's able to make the play over to Mark for out number 2. And we'll have Grace Tipton up for hopefully the last at-bat of the game. Nancy's pretty tired, but hanging in there, and her hooks are still accurate, so not too worried about it. Just gonna keep pecking away at the edges of the strike zone with hooks and try to finish this one off. Who gets our fireball? Nope, neither of those. Don't really want to completely deplete her juice, so we'll just take third strikeout of the game to close things out. So, nice shutout there. Obviously would have preferred to put some more runs on the board, but I did better than the real-life Orioles today, so that's something. And got some folks engaging in the chat, so I appreciate that. And also recorded it for YouTube, so I tried to mostly talk about what people were saying in chat as well. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. That one actually went quicker than I would have expected, mostly because I got out quick a lot of these innings. But yeah, sorry Jibbo, you just missed